Hey everybody, welcome back to HitPoint, a JRPG news show, an anime news show, a niche news show, a show where Baku and I talk philosophically about the things that make us tick, about the things that are going on in the world of JRPG news, anything that really captures either Baku's attention or mine. We're going to talk about it, and we're going to talk about some pretty awesome stuff today. We are going to talk about some news, going to be previewing some trailers, talking about maybe a few rumors here and there, and we will be responding to super chats at the end of the episode. We do stream live every Sunday at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I think I nailed it this week.
I think you got it. Yeah.
Hey, all right.
All right.
Excellent. Hey, greetings and salutations, Mr. Baku. How are you doing today?
Doing pretty good, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing a little sleepily, actually, but I just made myself a gigantic espresso, and I'm thinking we're gonna make it through it.
I got myself a coffee right here too, because man, boy, I've been staying up a little too late lately.
Well, you know, there was the time change, right? And that was supposed to help. You were supposed to be the chosen one. You were supposed to bring balance. But
well, it helped a little bit. It gave you an extra hour for me to stay up on.
Yeah, that's exactly what it did. It enabled us to, our bad behavior, and now we are going to continue to reap the rewards of our bad behavior.
That's exactly what it is.
That is all right. I mean, you know what? It sounds like we're going to be, what this is going to be one of the last times that we ever switch our clocks forward and backward for daylight savings. Is that right? I don't know. I think so. I remember hearing something about it a while back. So maybe we're finally done with this craziness, but
you know what's crazy is for those who are unfamiliar with U.S. politics, and I won't get too into it, but basically there's the left and right side. You know, like other places that have like multiple parties, and it's very chaotic. Like for us, it's just like, you know, just really two major parties, and they both agree for once that we really should do away with daylight savings. So I'm just like,
finally.
You know, they agree on something. You know, they're gonna get something done.
Yeah.
Here's the part they don't agree on, and I would be it would be remiss if this is the thing that keeps us away from you know, getting rid of this, and that is, should we go with daylight savings time, or should we go with standard time?
Oh.
And that's what they're having their like debate on now, and I'm just like,
well, so here's my thought.
So close.
I know.
Close.
I know. Here's my thought. I want it to stay out later all year round if possible. I don't care if it's daylight by the time I wake up or not. Like just I'll go to work every day in the dark. I don't care. It's, you know, I just want it to be daylight when I'm home.
My preference would be whatever Europe is using relative to us as far as like the time zone is concerned. So like the globe is divided into, you know, however many time zone, right? That corresponds with the clock. Europe basically has like a single like time that they're now keeping, right? For the most part, from my understanding, is that that's like they've kind of done away with all this madness like years and years and years ago.
Okay.
So whatever, like start counting from Europe and just count the hours. If that happens to be daylight saving, do that one. If it happens to be standard time, do that one. Because I personally think that our hours should align with the people that we do a lot of business with. It just makes sense.
Yeah, I suppose that makes sense.
Yeah.
Sure.
So once you count it like by the hours, by the zone, it shouldn't be like that, but -1 or +1 or whatever that, you know, offset would be. It should just be like you count the zone and boom, East Coast. It's exactly how many zone is over, and the hours make sense. And then Central and Mountain and Pacific, and then whatever Hawaiian time is, they should all match, right?
Yeah,
all the way through.
It should be consistent, I think, is what you're kind of saying, right?
Yeah.
That would be ideal, but
that would be what I prefer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Well, that's for smarter. Well, I don't know about smarter people than us, but that's for other people than us to decide. So we're not gonna
very smart at all.
So we're not gonna belabor that any further.
Yeah.
But Baku, how have you been this week? Little sleepy?
Okay, yeah, just a little bit.
How's Ghostwire?
I finished Ghostwire Tokyo.
Yeah.
I finished it. It was
Congratulations.
it was a short and sweet game. That's how I kind of like it. And I kind of want to talk a little bit about that later on in the show. There'll be
Oh,
something that'll come up. But it was short and sweet.
mhm.
Some folks said it's a little too short. I kind of feel like they could have done a little bit more, but at the
Sure.
same time, like it was a very concise story. It told everything that it wanted to tell.
Yeah.
I don't
That's
know if dragging on made sense.
yeah, that's the trick is you don't want anything to outstay its welcome. Like you'd
Yeah.
rather leave people wanting more than the opposite of thinking like, well, that could have been a 20-minute game, or something
Right.
like that.
Right.
This could
Yeah.
have been an email, So
Yeah.
so yeah,
Uh,
that's the better way to err on the side of things, I think.
oh,
But
absolutely. I also feel
so
like they spent way too much budget on making it pretty instead of just giving us more enemy types. Like the
mm,
enemy types are like just a couple, and then by the time you're like midway through the game, you're pretty much already seen all of them. Just like okay,
okay.
just a little balancing. But otherwise, I highly recommend it. Wednesday, we're gonna go back and play Trails in the Sky. Can you
Ooh, the
believe it?
third.
Oh yeah, the third. Trails third. We're
Nice.
gonna go back to playing Trails third.
Good
Spooktober is
memories there.
finally over. We're gonna play Trails third. And then hopefully within my lifetime, I will play Crossbell
Mm,
and maybe Cold Steel.
that sounds awesome, dude.
Also, I just want to take this opportunity to talk about this, which is as some of
Oh,
you guys know, is Extra Life. So definitely support them. They are doing game days in November. So yeah, I definitely support Extra Life every single year. I don't think I can do game day this year, like the 24-hour stream thing. Yeah, I don't think I can do that anymore. My body gives out
yeah.
like 18 hours in. I'm like, yeah, I don't think it's happening. But I'm still donating all my bits and subs to Extra Life this month. So come by and hang out. We both stream, by the way. Did you know that? Derek and
Yeah,
I both stream. Yeah,
I knew
and
that. Did you know that?
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah. So links in the description down below. Just come by and check us out. Sometimes I'm starting to stream Wednesday now, and until whatever day of the week. So, but Wednesday is like day one of stream. We'll go from there. How about you,
Awesome.
Derek? What you been up to?
Well, I am nearing finally the end of Golden Sun: The Lost Age. I am
Hmm.
about 50 hours into this Game Boy Advance RPG. 50 hours. Can you believe
50
it?
hours. Wow.
It is still going. I mean, admittedly, I'm kind of doing a bit of a completionist run. I mean, it wasn't my goal when I set out, but I was like, well, I may as well get all of the Jin. I may as well get all the super bosses and go, it's like, it's like if you give a mouse a cookie, you know how things kind of spiral. So anyways, it looks like I have one super boss left and we're going to take it out. And then I think I have one good long stream in front of me, maybe two, depending on
Mm.
how big and bad this super boss is. But otherwise, I'm feeling pretty good about it. And then after that, we're going to be moving on to Trails of Cold Steel. So I'm guessing, it's just
Ooh.
got trails in the, just trails is in the air at this point.
Yeah, trails all over the place.
Hmm. And I gotta also thank Baku here because thanks to Baku. So I
What I
messaged
do?
him earlier today, and I was just like, man, Baku, I don't know, like
Oh, that's
because
what you're
there's
talking about.
because there is this. So yeah, I've been talking a little bit lately about how in like I've needed like a PS5 and I'm like thinking about getting one. I was like, should I get one? Should I not? I stepped into a GameStop the other day or earlier today and I was like, I don't suppose you guys have PS5s in stock. And they're like, well, actually we have one and it comes in a bundle and it's like all this other stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll think about it. I'll think about
I
it. I'll
know
think
which
about it.
bundle it is. I know
Um,
which one it is. Yeah.
so actually it's not like bundled with a game, but you had to buy it with an extra controller. Um,
Oh, that kind of bundle. Yeah, but
yeah.
extra control is nice.
Yeah, I mean, sure, except I'm a
Even for a
single
single
player.
person. No, 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 no.
I know.
No, no, no.
Uh-huh.
I just yesterday I was playing Ghostwire
Yeah.
I played for so long
That it
that
died.
my controller died. So I swapped to the other controller immediately and kept streaming. So no, two control for yourself is a luxury that
Yeah.
you will not want to do, without anymore.
So anyways, I was telling Buck, I was like, should I get it? Should I not? I mean, like I was really struggling and he's like because I'm like, should I wait out hold out until, Black Friday. And he's like, yeah, I mean, Black Friday's probably not going to have any real deals going on. You know, holidays coming up. I mean, it's basically, I'm not in any huge rush, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Why not?
anyways,
No, wait.
yeah, I decided, you know, I just really needed to exercise some self-control, and I ended up not getting it this time, and you know, just holding myself accountable to myself, and I did it. I oh shit. Okay,
right,
so there's
tell me the story. Tell me the story, because that part I did not know. Okay, like I was talking to him about getting it or not, and then I thought I talked him out of it. I mean, explain yourself. What is that about?
all right. Well. So my thought is, you know, you're right. It's probably not going to have big Black Friday sales, right? Because this thing's honestly like. They're not going to make a PS5 into a loss leader at like a GameStop or a Target.
Dude,
or
you're
something.
lucky
like,
you can
they might,
get
but
one. Like,
exactly.
Why would they?
Exactly.
They're not
like
trying to get rid of them.
And then I thought,
Yeah.
you know, that there is the holiday season coming around, and people are going to start looking for them a lot harder than they already are. I mean, Sony says that they're gonna have, you know, sufficient stock. They've said that the entire time, though.
They have sufficient stock for people who are really trying to look.
Yeah.
Sufficient is
and they had,
subjective.
And they said that they had one, and I'm like, okay. And anyways. So yeah, I was like, if I don't get it now, I don't know when I'll be able to. And there are other PS5 games coming up, and I'm just gonna need one at some point. So yeah.
Okay.
So
So
that's
you bit the bullet. You got it. You mad lad.
yeah.
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 I'm still really struggling with how much I spent. I mean, it's the digital. It's not the digital. It's the physical version, because it has to be. And I got it with the controller, and I went ahead and picked up Soul Hackers 2 for it as well, because I'm like, you know, that's probably be the first one that I actually play through on PS5 is that one.
Really?
And I just want it to look really good, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
So anyways, that's you know, my big PS5 update. I mean, a lot of people were curious probably what I was gonna do, and yeah, my impulse control failed me in a moment of weakness.
That's okay.
Also, just a heads up for anybody who might have missed it. On Friday, I released my review of Chrono Cross, and I am ecstatic at how well it seems to be doing at this point. Like, it seems like people are really enjoying the video, and a lot of positive feedback. Makes me, I feel really good, because it's such a special game to me, you know, and sometimes
some people like Chrono Cross. It's amazing.
You know, that's the other thing is, like, in the comments, some people are like, you know, I don't really care for it. I'm like, yeah, there are very reasonable people who don't necessarily love Chrono Cross, but
they liked your video, and that's all that matters.
No, my opinion, my video had wrong think they didn't like it, but
Oh no.
no, I'm just kidding. I mean, people are split. Some people, I don't know, but the vast majority of people who enjoyed the video, yeah, they liked it. I'm very happy.
Sometimes split is good. You know, that
Yeah.
way that
Yeah, I
means
don't-
people give you candid, you know, opinion. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, it's just nice to have it done, because it was such an important video for me. Because it's such an important game for me. And it's good to see that it's doing well, because it seems so often when you're like working on YouTube. I don't know if you've encountered this yet or not, Baku, but it seems like the more effort you put into a video, it seems sometimes the worst it does. And sometimes, like, the least amount of effort you put into something, that's the one that goes viral, and everyone's like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Oh, you're the guy that made the thing. It's like, you mean that thing that I took like 5 minutes to make?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's never the Trails in the Sky audiobook that people remember me for. It's
right.
It's for that one discussion video where I talked about defeating your RPG backlog or something. I don't know. Anyways, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's just the final update that I really wanted to throw out there. And
Yeah, check out that Chrono Cross review, everybody, after the podcast. Don't go
if you
anywhere,
want to, yeah.
because we got things to talk about.
All right, so
Yes.
let's go ahead and move on to the comments from last week.
Yes, let's talk about it. All right, so we've got our first comment from nobody. Leaving Midgard in Final Fantasy VII has always been a great memory for me. Going
Hmm.
from the city to the open land made me feel like I had the whole world at my feet. And, I was just talking to Derek about this, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, I that actually slipped my mind. Right, you spend a third of the game in Midgard
Yeah.
in OG Final Fantasy VII,
Yeah.
and back then, right, like if you played it like original, like I did, or a lot of us did, there were no guides, no internet, right? So you don't know what you're up for. And if you're used to playing Final Fantasy, it's like, yeah, the world map kind of opens to you fairly early on. So it kind of makes you wonder, like, will there be no world map? Like,
Yeah.
is this what's going to happen? Because it was very, I mean, obviously, looking back, like, that's silly. Like, of course they had a world map. Like, of course they did. But when you first played the game, brand new, no guide, no internet, you had no idea what you were up for.
Yeah.
So you were just playing it, playing it, playing. I'm like, holy crap! It's like a third of the game in, or like it's so many hours in, and I'm still in the city. And then you bust out there, and then you look back at Midgar, and then you're like, the world opens up.
I know.
There's your world map,
And
you're
then
just
you had
like,
the
wow.
incredible world map music playing as well.
I know. Oh my god, yeah, it's such a nice tune.
Yeah.
Such
Oh,
a nice tune. Yeah. So
yep.
just happy.
And it was all preceded by that crazy like chase scene as you were like leaving the
Mhm.
city and like you're like, where are we gonna go? What are we gonna do? What's going on? But yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right. What else you
So
got?
Walamanga 1313 says, if Star Ocean 2 was on Steam, I definitely get it. I remember playing it on an emulator and watching the anime series. Really enjoyed both. However, I don't think I ever finished either. I'd love to go back.
You need to go back. Go back and finish it. Do
That
it
was
for us.
it was a stellar game. I'd love to see it on the PSP, the remake that they did for PS Vita.
Evolution?
Which one did they? Yeah.
No,
Second
it's on
Evolution.
PS. It's
That
on
was
PS4 now.
Yeah, and then they ported it
Yeah.
to PS4. But
Yeah,
it was at
that,
first it was
that.
on PSP, right?
I think so.
Yeah, so I'd love to
I
see
think
the
so.
PSP version or the PS4
Mhm.
port. Yes, I would love to see that on more consoles, more options. Just put it everywhere. I mean, obviously you
The
can't.
Switch.
It's expensive
The Switch would
to-
be a good choice.
The Switch would be an incredible choice.
Yeah, I mean it's relatively low polygon count. The Switch
Mhm.
can handle it. You can take it portable. I
Yeah.
know Mr. Val doesn't like it, but look, the Switch is a great console for what it does. Okay,
Yeah.
even if it's
It's-
slightly dated.
The Nintendo Switch is where PS Vita games go to become popular.
No, stop. It's painful. It's painful.
It's painful, but it's true. It's so
I feel
true.
like I feel like I'm like a rare Vita owner.
I know.
because not not
It's
that many
not a
people
slight
even bought
against-
on with it.
It's not a slight against
Yeah.
the machine. The machine is
Yeah.
brilliant. The games
I
that we got
know.
for it usually were brilliant. It's Sony of America that really hosed us
Yeah.
all. They sold us out, man. Yep.
Yeah,
Sony ruined
they messed
us.
up. They messed up.
All right.
Yeah. Well,
we had another one here actually from Gotenks 0002 who says, "Man, I still own my original copy. Luckily, of Star Ocean 2, and I had a second evolution when I owned a working PSP.
see, there you go.
Yeah, I would absolutely love a chance to play it again on console or PC. There it is again, PC. So much, in fact, I purchased FD on Switch and PS4. That's the First Departure.
First departure.
Mhm.
Yep.
I also had it on PSP and played the original on SNES, though it was a totally different game/experience.
Man, so yeah, the consensus from you guys from the last video, I think overwhelmingly everybody just wants Star Ocean 2, and we're 100% with you guys. Like, I would love to be able to play, because that was my Star Ocean.
Yeah.
So I'd never really played Star Ocean 1. My Star Ocean was Star Ocean 2. Just like how
Yeah.
I never played Final Fantasy 1 through 3. My Final Fantasy was Final Fantasy 4 and onward. So I would really like to relive that on a modern console. So Square Enix, you're not listening, but if you were,
No,
you
I mean,
asked,
they
you asked. Yeah,
They
you
did.
asked. Your
So-
team was like, yeah, it's Square Enix executives. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Like, On the ivory tower.
You're welcome, Square Enix. We did your market research for you, and here are the results.
Here are the results.
We the people want it. Give it to us.
We did a survey of sort.
Yes.
We didn't ask about graphics though.
I mean, sure you can pretty up the graphics if you want to, I suppose.
If you want to.
If you want to. Just don't make it a service game.
Yeah, just slap a translation on it, slap a localization on it. You don't even, I mean, look, if you really don't want to pay the money, then don't pay voice actors, whatever. Okay. You don't even have to have the English voice acting. Just slap the translation and then just send it westward.
Just slap it. Just like that.
And just, the thing is that they're a publisher, so like
it should be so easy for them to do this.
Yeah, they have a whole working process, internal staff that can do stuff like this now.
Yeah,
so
I mean, they already did it for First Departure. Like, it should just be like turnkey for them. They probably have the script and everything. They're just waiting for the.
I don't know why they're tiptoeing around it. I just don't.
I don't know. I don't know why they're tiptoeing around the pixel perfect remasters either, but whatever.
Yeah. And for people who are still wondering how Tri-Ace is connected to all this, Tri-Ace developed the game. I don't know if they worked on remastering the game, but ultimately Square Enix is the IP holder. Okay. So if anyone wants to release it in the West, it's a Square Enix thing, not a Tri-Ace thing. Tri-Ace basically have nothing to do with it unless Square Enix wants them to be involved in this like endeavor.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it is
I want them to be involved.
That could just do it. I would love for them to be involved. But I'm just saying, like, whether or not Tri-Ace exists has nothing to do with if Star Ocean 2 can be released in the West. There's a wholly Square Enix decision. And within their power to just kind of do it. But I digress.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got a last comment that we got from Joanne's Castelladas. Is that how you pronounce it? Castelladas? I hope I pronounced this the Enye, right? That's the Enye right there. Okay. Great episode. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Listen, I'm allowed to mispronounce some things.
Yeah, that's fine.
He said, they said, great episode. I think Exceed listened to your prayers, Derek. Cold Steel is now 50% off on PS4.
Oh, that's wonderful. I was actually just looking up before the show. I was like, man, if I was going to spend money on Cold Steel on PS4, I would at least want to get it physically. So I popped over onto eBay, and they are so expensive.
No, geez, yeah.
Yeah. Like, if you want to get the North American release versions, like, because Marvelous also did some releases in the UK, or the European version and the Australian versions, and they're a bit cheaper, but then you got to wait on shipping from overseas, and it's like, I don't know, that's a whole thing, and I still would be spending $40 for a physical release. So I mean, that might be a way forward. I might end up doing that. But man, I would be so much happier with the PC version, or a physical release. I don't know.
So hold on. So if someone were to offer you a PS4 version for not out of the world prices, would you go and pick it up?
Probably.
Is that what you would prefer, the PS4 version? Because I mean, where are you going to play Reverie? I thought they were like, what is it called? Those bonuses.
I'll tell you what.
Do you care?
I currently have a PlayStation 5. I would probably play Reverie on PS5.
Oh, I'm sorry. Someone has a PlayStation 5. I'm a proud owner of a PS5. You didn't even plug that in yet, did you? You didn't even.
It's still in my box. I did the. I'm a collector, Baku. I never open the box. I put it on a shelf where it belongs, and there it will stay forever.
Can you imagine if someone buys a PS5? It's like, oh yeah, this is a collector. This is a collector copy. No, I'm not.
Oh God, no. There are probably people who have like, oh yes, I have my sealed in box copy of PlayStation 5, as well as the one that I play.
I'm not surprised if someone did that, because like 50 years from now, they're like, oh, it's still in the box. It's certified.
I know. I'm gonna put a big plastic case around it and get it WADA certified or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Man.
It's so ridiculous. But yeah, that's how it is at this point. Yeah, no voicemail today, unfortunately. But if you would like to leave us a voicemail, you can do so by leaving us a voicemail at the number listed down below. That is 785-337-3805. And if you leave us a voicemail, we will play it live on the air and respond to it. Otherwise, we'll also be responding to super chats at the end of the episode. So if you have any burning questions that just cannot wait any longer, you do have options available, though. Otherwise, leave us a voicemail. We'd love to hear from you. I think that in general, I think that everybody actually really likes to hear somebody other than Baku and I yammer on for at least a moment or two. It's a nice way to diversify the sounds coming through your speakers.
I like listening to you guys sending in voicemails.
I know.
It's definitely, yeah.
It's the highlight because I get to be quiet for a moment and it's not Baku talking. It's my highlight.
Yeah. Likewise.
Yeah. No, I love being able to put voices to names and to people, and it's good to hear from y'all. So
yeah, so definitely keep those voicemails coming. Thank you so much for all the folks who have sent us stuff before. You know we will listen to it and we know we'll respond to it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's talk about some upcoming releases. Are you ready, Mr. Derek?
Nope, not yet. Hang on.
Okay, well, too bad.
There we go.
Here
We're
it
ready
comes.
now.
All right, so the first game that we should talk about is a game called The Way Madless Lies, the Shakespeare/Magical Girls crossover turn-based JRPG.
Oh my goodness.
Boyd Games is coming to PC via Steam on November 10th. So only 4 more days from now.
Mm-hmm.
I got it wish listed. I am so ready for it. Yeah, so again, the premise is a couple of high schoolers in Italy, of all places, from this drama club transforms into magical girls.
Oh, that's
and
right.
Fight mutant plants.
I remember this now. Yeah, we were talking about this. This is the same guys behind like Cosmic Star Heroine, I think, right?
Yes.
And this is
oof.
Oh yeah, it's heavily inspired by maybe the Sailor Scouts. So yeah.
Could be Sailor Moon. Who could really tell?
Who could really tell? Who can say for sure?
Who could say for sure? The developer estimated that a single playthrough in this game will take about 45 hours. So it's actually not a very long game, depending on difficulty and playstyle, of course. So it makes for a pretty nice pick-me-up between your 100 plus hour long RPGs.
Yeah, it's like one of those little palate cleansers, right?
Yes, we need those. You don't understand. Like RPG streamers, we need those palate cleansers.
That is another thing that happened last week. Is I also put out a little experience points video talking about another palette cleanser that was similarly pretty short and to the point for a fast future. So I was telling people I was hoping that I'd get it out for the day of, and I managed to squeak by, just barely.
And people are playing that game right now thanks to you.
Well, that's what I heard, and I'm hoping they're enjoying it because I really did. But also, here's another one that looks like it's probably going to be a similar palette cleanser as well. It's called Ringlorn Saga. We mentioned it a little bit ago. It is, and so this is just your reminder that this retro RPG that is like bump mechanic inspired, like with the old Highlight games and the old East games. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago, and we showed the trailer, and it was very old school. Inspired by maybe even before the NES, like the old oh god, what were those systems? The PC 9800 or no? The Japanese PCs that
Engine, that
predated all that other stuff. Yeah. So it looks super cool. Make sure you check them out. And I think that'll look good. It's coming out on the 7th of November, so tomorrow.
Yeah, it's coming out tomorrow. Get it?
Yeah.
All right. Next game we've got, it's called Kowloon High School Chronicle. So this is the remaster. Well, because this is a remaster version of a 2004 dungeon crawler. So maybe that's why you've heard of it.
Okay.
Yeah. And that is coming to PC in November 9th. So 3 days from now. Here's the summary from the Steam page. In Shinjuku, Tokyo, a young man appears as a transfer student to the Kamiyoshi Academy. While he seems like a normal student, he's actually a treasure hunter. His mission is to discover a mysterious ruin hidden deep beneath the school. Accompanied by his friends from school, he sets out to discover the mysteries of a super ancient civilization. We do have a trailer so that you guys can take a look at, what that looks like.
Okay, sure. Let's check that out.
That music.
It sounds kind of like Bebop, huh?
Yeah, this is the remaster version of the dungeon crawling.
Oh, that is interesting. It's like, it looks like it had some platforming kind of going on there. That's,
yeah.
I mean, it's probably not like timing-based platforming,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Probably not. I think it's just a visual.
yeah, but that's cool.
This music is so good.
It's like straight out of Bebop. I feel like inspired by the seatbelts. Gotta be. That's definitely like a tank sound alike.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's that band, man. This is 2004.
The seatbelts with
I wouldn't be surprised.
I would be. I'd be very surprised if Yoko Kanno was involved. That oh god. But anyways, that's super cool. Whoop,
Yeah.
Stop.
By
Okay, there we
the
go.
way, yes. So this game was released by Atlas. Wouldn't you know it? It just kind of really fits there. It was published by Atlas, so I don't think it was developed by Atlas. It was published by Atlas. So I'm like, wouldn't you know? I looked at it. I'm just like, there's some Persona vibe in this. There's some SMT vibe in this thing. I was like, but no, it was not developed by Atlas. From what I can understand, it was published by Atlas. So, but it's still very interesting looking game. This is the remaster. But hey, if you can't wait like a couple of days to play on PC, this game is actually immediately available on the Switch and the PS4. So
Okay.
you can always get those there.
Super cool. Maybe that's why I've heard of it somewhat recently, because I'm like, it sounds so familiar. It's probably because we talked about it recently.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All
But
right.
this is the PC release now. So there you go.
So we have another
right.
game that we are finally done waiting for, that's coming out on
Right.
this week here on the 8th. So we've been talking about this one for a while, and I've jabbed at it a couple times, but I'm kind of actually curious about this one.
Yeah.
This is Sonic Frontiers. It's the newest entry in the Sonic series, and it's going live on the 8th for PS4, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S, X, and Switch, and also PC. So basically everything.
Everything.
And we have a trailer for it as well, and it tried to start playing without my intention. So let's try that and see if it'll play for us here.
This is the final trailer, I think.
Yeah, from Sonic Team. There it is. So what's going on here?
Find the Chaos Emeralds.
All right. This one's...
Damn, I never knew Sonic can kick that hard.
Now you know.
Yeah. And punch. I'm sorry, Sonic
That was
punches.
a...
What?
Was that a Shoryuken?
I don't know what that was. I didn't know Sonic can punch. Oh, look, it's Amy.
Maybe he learned it from Knuckles. All right, this looks pretty cool. If the gameplay holds up, this will be awesome. Like, visually, it looks great. Of course, there probably... I mean, the trailer for Sonic 06 probably looked great too, right?
I like to think that they have learned from their lesson from
Yeah,
06.
I'm sure of it. I'm sure of
really, I'm really hoping.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, yeah, if it looks great, that's the point of the trailer. I'm really rooting for Sonic to make a nice new game. Hey, a human that looks like it would fit in. That's cool.
I got one OK Rock to do the opening, so I'm very excited for that.
Okay, that's super cool.
Yeah.
That is the most excited
there you
I've
go.
been for a Sonic game since Sonic Mania. So
No, seriously, that is the most excited I've ever been for Sonic. Period.
okay.
I
So
guess we're just not saying much because I am typically not very excited about Sonic.
but hey, that's what Sonic Team
but-
needs to do at this point, is to start reaching
Yeah.
out to people who aren't still Sonic fans if they want to sell more than, than the minimum amount, right?
Yeah, you know what, that's a good point. It's at some point you need to branch out from like just the fans,
Mhm.
like if you that fan base is probably an ever dwindling base, if you don't try to bring new people into
Yeah.
said fan base.
You've got to have
So-
outreach. Yep.
Yeah.
So
Well, best of luck to them.
Yeah, so Sega has also announced released an animated prologue video called Sonic Frontiers Prologue Divergence, taking taking naming schemes from Square Enix, which features Knuckles and sets the stage for Frontier. The 6-minute short is currently available to watch on YouTube, and there will be a link in the description after the show for you to check out.
Yes.
Pretty wild.
Alrighty. You know what other game we've been waiting for a long time now, Mr. Derek? That we gotta talk about this one.
Persona 3 Definitive Edition?
No,
No?
try again.
Oh,
try again.
Jeez.
Give us another one.
Okay, I'm trying to think of what's another one, because I feel like all of our wild dreams are coming true pretty recently.
It's 2022 has been a wild year, yeah.
I know.
And into 2023, I'm just like, I don't know what other surprise you have in store for us 2023, but I'm for it.
know.
The game that we're going to talk about is the Tactics Ogre Reborn. I'm sorry, the remaster, the remake, the Reborn version of Tactics Ogre will finally be made available in November 11th. For PS4, 5, Switch, and PC via Steam. There is one final trailer, they called it, from Square Enix. It's not very convincing that it is indeed final anything, but you know what? Let's take a look at it. The final trailer.
The final. It's the final trailer. And that's how we got copyright strike. All right, long have people struggled for dominion over the shores of their flourishing land. But when somebody declared war against the Uyghur whatever, Sorry, I'm sure I can figure out how some of these are pronounced. This is going too quick to read out loud.
You'll figure it out once you play the game.
This is our fight.
Oh, sure. They'll probably say it out loud.
A world free of war and strife. This is why we fight. The peace we fight for is one in which the Wallister can live as men.
The Wallister, okay.
Walls.
Ambition has poisoned you. It will be your downfall.
You looked a lonely lot. Thought I might join you.
Today I avenge my mother and father. Make peace with your gods, if any will have you.
Lives taken without reason. That's the world we live in.
Yeah.
Always you trust to steal for deliverance. But where has it led us? We are beaten.
No, not yet. Our battle is far from over. We should hurry. Ready the troops. Onward.
The music is so good
I know.
for this game. Oh
I
my
know.
god.
I was talking, and then I was like, hang on, I should shut up and listen to this music for a minute, because it's really nice.
Why unleash your creations on innocents? This is massacre.
But you're a fool to advance on our front gates.
I did not take you for a thief. Come to stab us in the back. Man is not so slothful a creature as that.
Dude, that looks rad, being able to like rotate the camera and stuff. Was that originally a feature?
Yeah, it is. But they
Okay.
made it less cumbersome.
Okay.
They improved on it, according to them. I haven't
Sure.
seen
okay.
it yet, obviously, but
Nor do I deny that it was a terrible
it's
mistake.
like part of the
art looks
crazy thing
great.
is that these scores were made in the 90s and they are now played with a modern orchestra, but the score is still the same. They haven't
Yeah.
really changed it, and it sounds freaking amazing.
It really does.
It sounds so grand in scale, and just like it's a whole different like experience,
dude.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks so cool. Oh,
Oh my god! As a huge fan for this game, I'm just flabbergasted
This
that like
is
just
really
a
making
year
me want.
ago.
It makes me so want to start playing through like Triangle Strategy and other strategy RPGs. It's got the back of my mind going, yeah, I need to take a look into this. I need to
You
get one of those.
should. This game is coming out soon. Look,
And-
no, I was gonna say just a year ago, if you told me that they're gonna do a Tactics Ogre like Reborn version in 2022, I'd have been like, yeah, okay, buddy.
I know. The thing is,
I'm like, yeah,
somebody
right.
somebody did tell us about a year ago that NVIDIA
Right?
leak. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Can you
And I was like,
Yeah, I was like, yeah, what's this? Chrono Cross? Psh, whatever.
Okay. Oh, my Kingdom Hearts 4. Yeah, right. That's like 10 years too early. And then we got like the trailer for Kingdom Hearts 4. And then all these games that's popping out, and I'm just like, wow. Oh, why? I guess that was actually correct. Anyways, so that is the game. Again, it's coming out in November 11th on PS4, 5, Switch, and PC. Get it now. There is a limited edition version available in Asia, but not in the West. So, what's the fan to do? You may ask. Well, you could build your own limited edition. Sort of. You can visit the Square Enix store and purchase the art book, the soundtrack, which I actually will also get, and also the tarot card set with the playmat. That's all part of the Japanese limited edition. So you can theoretically build your own bundle, or maybe you don't care for the tarot cards, you just want a soundtrack, you can just do that.
Get it a la carte, sure.
Yeah, and get it a la carte. So pros and cons, it will run a little bit more, bind them bits and pieces, and they all have different release dates, which is a pain. But at least you have some option of getting some of these items if you so choose to, if you're a fan. It is going to be, again, at the Square Enix store. The only thing that from what I can see anyways, that you really couldn't is the like 3-book original script set, because it's all in Japanese and they're not going to translate in English. So that's like about the only thing that you're not going to get. But if you're so dedicated, you could just go through the game and make your own script. I mean, I don't know, like.
Yeah.
You could probably do it.
I was gonna say, like, you could also use, like, if you have a Android phone, you could use Google Lens to read it if you wanted to. I mean, if it's a script though, I mean, that's kind of gonna ruin it a little bit, right? So I don't know.
That's about the only thing, the original script you're not getting. But otherwise, you can get other pieces. So, what I'm actually really interested in seeing is what the modding community would do, because now the game is available on Steam. You know what that means? Mod season. There is a Vision 1 mod for the PSP version. Let's cling together. But I feel like if it's on Steam, people can do some really wild things.
Yeah. I mean, no longer having to make it work on a console or on an emulated version of a console, just it lifts so many restrictions. There is still some trickiness to it, but it opens a lot of doors.
The modding community will figure it out. There's some very smart people who I'm sure would be more than happy to provide their skills and assistance to do this. I'm just really waiting for them to mod in like maybe Final Fantasy Tactics characters. I can see that, and like have their own little story while they're at it. Because people are very creative. They can add like extra quests and stuff, and how you can recruit these like Final Fantasy Tactics character. Just throwing some ideas out there, modding community. Make me proud. I'm throwing my wish list out there. Anyways.
All right. Well, shall we move along? Okay. So we've got some new games that were kind of announced here for either coming to the West or in general. So we're going to go ahead and talk about a couple of these. Actually, more than a couple, but a few. Starting with this one from developer Foolish Mortals, who have announced that their kaiju-themed strategy RPGs, those are doing really well this year, will be released on other platforms after a successful launch on PC back in April. So in this game, you can command an army to fight kaiju, build your own city and scenario, and play as kaijus in the 2-player versus mode as well.
Yeah.
So, well, there's a trailer. Do you wanna see what Kaiju Wars is all about?
Yes, please. Let's take a look at that.
All right.
Around the world, the giant monsters known as kaiju are a menace.
Monster attack taking place worldwide.
collapse underneath
Scientists are gathering here in Bombay.
So that looks a little bit like retro NES kind of inspired pixel art. Maybe. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, kind of has actually like an older PC game style aesthetic, I think. But like updated. I like that. I like that a lot.
I mean, it makes sense to me because like kaiju films are definitely way more popular during those times too.
Yeah. It kind of looks like it's got CGA style graphics, but like super high resolution CGA.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know if it's actual.
Yeah,
I
so
don't
you can
think
build
I don't
your
think
map.
they're not using actual CGA palettes here, but you know, the limited color palette with the dithering looks really nice.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Or maybe it's EGA. I don't know. I'm not super well versed in retro computers. I would love to be, but
Me neither.
that looks so cool.
Right? So yeah, so this game came out on April 28th on Steam, but it says coming soon because it's a relatively old trailer because there's no newer trailer, so excuse that. Yeah, so
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yep, it's going to be coming to PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S on the 11th, the 10th. Yes. The 10th. Oh, why wasn't this in the this week things that we were talking about? Okay.
Because they just announced it.
Oh, okay. Because they also just okay. So it's a double because it goes. It's new this week, but it's also a new game announcement. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
There we go. Cool.
Yes. All right. Yeah. They just announced that this is going to be a thing a couple of days prior. And
Practically
a
shadow drop. God.
Practically. But yeah, it looks really good. So I had to talk about it. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So next up, speaking of talking about this, we talked about this a couple of times. In fact, it's in the thumbnail. There's a game called Little Witch Nobeta. So last week we talked about a cryptic message from Idea Factory with the hashtag Follow the Cat, and we have actually no idea what that was about, other than it was not going to be an otome game, and it is in fact not an otome game. We do know what it's about now. So Idea Factory has announced that they will be handling the digital and physical release of Little Witch Nobeta, also known as Lowly Girl Dark Souls, because that's what everyone is basically calling this now.
Sure.
Yeah,
Lowly
so
Souls.
Little Witch, Lowly Souls. Yes, okay, don't stop.
Ah, jeez.
Yep, we're gonna call that now. So Little Witch Nobeta will be getting a North America and Europe release for PS4 and the Switch, again for digital and physical version. So we do have a short trailer from Idea Factory this time. Let's take a look because this time it's gonna show a little bit more gameplay than the usual trailers that we see.
Yeah.
I feel like it's worthwhile looking at again.
Yeah, because like you said, the few other trailers we've seen, they've shown a little bit of gameplay here and there, like highlighting specific features, but having an actual trailer
They showed
presentation.
the pretty animation, but this is like the gameplay.
Yeah.
I actually have the game on PC, and it's really fun.
The bad
Lowly
guys,
Souls.
I love it. All of the enemies like don't look super scary and stuff. It's adorable.
Yeah, a girl with the giant scissors that's chasing you down.
Yeah. Oh, she wants a hug. That's all.
She wants to hug you with her giant scissors.
Well, she doesn't know she has to put the scissors down first. That's all.
No one ever told her not to run with scissors in her hands.
Yeah, that's the problem.
So that's what follow the cat meant. Now it makes
Yeah.
sense. You
It
do follow
meant-
the cat around throughout the game, so there's that. All right, so that is coming spring 2023 on PS4 and the Switch from Idea Factory. The game is immediately available on PC via Steam if you can't wait to play it. But if you want on console, you just have to wait a little bit more. A limited edition will be available, but Idea Factory has not shared what would be included in it yet, though. If they're anything like the Japanese limited edition, they may include goods from Hololive talents who voiced the bosses in the game. So yeah, so there were 3 limited editions that were in Japan only, one for PC, Switch, and PS4. So we'll see what Idea Factory decides to do. But so far, they haven't given us anything other than there will be something.
There will be something.
There will be something.
TM. Trademark. Okay. So we have another game that we've been talking about for a while, and
I
then
know.
and then there was radio silence, and I feel like a lot of that happened around the time of like the Ukraine stuff starting up, which is still ongoing, by the way. You know, we don't hear about it as often, but it's still ongoing.
It's absolutely still going on.
Yeah, but anyways, the game that went off the radar for a while is from Square Enix. It's from developer Forever Entertainment. They've just announced that the first Front Mission remake will be released at the end of November this year, this month, within just a few weeks. So they have also uploaded a gameplay trailer for our viewing pleasure. So let's take a look at that as well.
Yes.
So that's pretty familiar from based on like the announcement trailer, but now
this is like the gameplay trailer. You can really see some. Ooh, I am so playing this. I loved this game growing up.
How crazy is it that suddenly tactics RPGs and strategy RPGs are like in vogue? How wild.
It's almost like they've always been good. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we've always known that. I mean, I've enjoyed every one that I've played, at least, which isn't very many, but still, the fact that like just 2022 has been going from like one every couple years to like here's 17 coming out this year.
Right. It's like, oh, 2 strategy game per month. Like what?
Yeah. It's wild. It's wild.
Which
and I love
reality
it.
are we living in? But yeah, so yeah, they they said that this game was gonna come out in fall, and then fall like basically hits, and then they're like, okay, it's gonna be November, and it's like middle of November. It's like, so when in November are you planning to release this? They're like, okay, we have a day for you.
Yep, and it is the 30th, the last day of November.
We barely made it into November. We didn't lie. It's just.
I don't know. Is the end of November still considered fall? I mean, I guess so, but jeez.
They're cutting it close.
Yeah, they're very much adhering to like the letter of the promise and not like the spirit of it, I feel. But whatever.
Absolutely not.
Whatever is fine. Well,
no, listen, if they can release a good game without delay, I just fine.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
fine
good
by
with
me.
it.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. All right. So next up, it's a game that we probably wouldn't be talking about a lot because we don't often talk about visual novels, but this one is very special because it's the first time that Type Moon is releasing one internationally with official English translations. Type Moon, by the way, for anyone who does not know, is the company behind things like Fate Stay Night and Tsukime. Now, the thing that we're talking about is the enhanced version of The Witch on a Holy Night, also known as Mahotsukai no Yoru. That is coming to Switch and PlayStation 4. So we can take a look at this trailer really quickly and just give you guys some background info on this.
Yeah. So this is the game, by the way, this is the other Witch game coming to PS4 and Switch. By the way, isn't my headline today just it rhymes? That's why I had to do it.
That's why you had to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I could only find a Japanese trailer, so there was no English trailers.
That's fine. I mean, it can't spoil anything this way.
they got some crazy new animations. Like the art looks amazing. So if you're into like visual novels, this one is. I was playing the demo earlier, and it just looks like breathtaking art.
Yeah.
呆れた。逃げられると思っているの？トウコさん。切り札というものは。
Is it entirely voice acted?
Yes.
Entire?
No, not entire. Sorry, not entirely voiced,
Okay.
but I think
Sections.
I think like all of the characters are voiced. The narrators are not voiced.
Oh,
Yeah, all the character lines are voiced.
interesting. I wonder.
That's why I'm just like,
I wonder if
yes,
the English.
but no.
I wonder if the English localization will have English
I don't
voice
think
acting.
the English one is going to be voiced.
Well, I hope they at least don't strip the Japanese voice acting.
Oh yeah, no, it's in there. Well, at least from the demo that I'm playing is still in there. All right, so some background story to this. Again, this is the first time that Type Moon is releasing one of their visual novel, which is actually what they're known for. I mean, in the West, they're kind of known for Fate, Fate Go, Fate Grand Order. Fate Grand Order. That's what they're known for. But actually, this is one of the earliest story that the co-founder of Type Moon written, and actually forms like the underlying like world that would go on to make Tsukihime and Fate. So this is sort of like the granddaddy story, one of the granddaddy stories, if you will. So it's coming for the first time, officially translated. So that's why I had to talk about it. The digital release will be available in December 8th, with the physical copy for PS4 and the Switch coming in January 27th of next year. Pre-order is available right now, and there is a limited edition that includes an art book, which actually I'm kind of compelled to get because the art is actually phenomenal for this title.
Yeah.
The demo is actually available right now on the Switch and PS4, which I've actually got my hands on. Yes.
Is the demo in English or is it Japanese? Demo?
English.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, but voice acting is still in Japanese, but
Sure.
the text is fully English. Yeah. This is strictly like international release. Yeah. So I mean, there are stuff that are in Japanese, so I'll definitely let you know. But like, if I don't know otherwise, it's in English.
Awesome.
Yes.
Very cool.
All right.
All right. Well, in that case, next up, Baku's making me talk about a horror game. Thank you, Baku.
You're welcome.
So
I mean, it was either that or talk about the previous game. I don't know which one do you want to do.
I don't think either of them would have suited me well. So I'll talk about this one. So Koei Tecmo have announced the release of their new remake of the survival horror game Fatal Frame: Mask of the Lunar Eclipse, and a new overview trailer. So
yes,
we've got a new release date and the trailer.
And
so
new trailer.
Let's watch that trailer. Let's give it a quick little gander here.
A quick gander.
Yeah. Just let me know when to uncover my eyes.
I don't think anything is scary in this.
I know.
Ever.
Really? Fatal Frame? It sounds like that would be kind of scary.
Not really.
Is it not?
It's fine. It's nothing in here is scary. That house is perfectly fine. Residence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, look at it. There's nothing scary about this.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool. That's a neat looking little mask there. She's just looking for masks? She's going to a Halloween party.
She's doing.
She's going to a Halloween party looking for masks.
That's exactly what she's doing. What is a sanatorium?
A sanatorium is where you. It's kind of like an asylum, I think.
Oh. Maybe don't go to one.
It's yeah, it sounds like a good place to avoid, I would say.
Yeah. So you do. She just runs her head into like a. And just slaps her forehead.
No, she just goes up to it and like looks. She's trying to get stitches. She's getting head pats. Just a little.
Yeah.
Why is the K-pop or J-pop going on behind in the background? That's gonna get us copy striked. Let me turn that down a little.
No. Well, then I need to keep talking.
Yeah, we need to talk over.
I don't think it's J-pop or just like the opening for the song, but for the game. But
I mean, it's probably copyrighted
Here's the camera
anyway.
section.
If I had to
Yeah.
guess.
Here's the camera action. There's
Oh,
that.
cool! You know, making ghost puppets or shadow puppets and stuff with the flashlight and
Yes.
yeah,
So,
that's pretty cool.
The premise of the game is that there was an abduction case,
Like an
and,
alien abduction.
no, like kids abduction case, like kidnapping, like literally case. I think, if I remember correctly, is from this, like, you know, some kind of a cult or something, and you know, and there were only 3 survivors. 3 girls survived, but they couldn't remember anything that happened on that island. So
Because the
3 of them-
aliens wiped their memories then.
maybe
Yeah.
After they've done proper experimentations on the girls.
Sure.
Yeah. So, you know, there were a lot of people who didn't make it, but the 3 of them made it. And they grew up. So you get to play as all 3 of them. I think once they go back to the island to try to figure out what the heck happened. I don't know what compelled them to do it, but they did. And that's what sets off, like, I think this is actually the first game in the Fatal Frame series. I could be wrong, but I know that at the minimum, this is a prequel to the original Fatal Frame game.
Cool.
So this is sort of like a retroactive prequel.
Yeah.
It's like retcon thing. So yeah.
That's pretty neat. So it's coming out on the 9th of March in 2023. Digital release on PS4 and 5 and Xbox One, Series XS, Switch, and PC. But sorry, microphone. I keep smacking the microphone every once in a while. But smack. For those of you who want a physical copy, they're only available in Japan for PS4 and for the Switch.
Yeah, and I don't know if they have
English on board. Who knows?
But if you
keep your eye on Play Asia, because that's your best chances is seeing.
Oh
yeah.
You absolutely must have a physical copy. It's there. Yeah.
So at least you know me well, because I'll have to get. I'll definitely get this, sure, because it's right up my alley.
What? Taking pictures of dead people?
Yeah, I mean, just, you know.
I didn't know you had such a hobby.
I'm such a brave horror game player. I am all about the horrors.
Hey, listen, if you guys want to see Derek play a horror game, maybe if it was Spooktober next year, we'll give him a year to, like, you know, work up the courage, right? So maybe Spooktober next year, we can ask Derek to play some horror games for us. I think that's not out of the question. Oh, you know, hey, there's that one horror RPG indie. Remember that one that looked like a film kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could play that. You know, that
maybe
could
I'll
be
put it
part
up
of
to a vote. If somebody, if we can get together like a list of horror RPGs that, like,
the horror games,
preferably with
games.
RPG elements or something like that.
Yeah,
maybe
there's RPG element here. You can upgrade your camera.
So we have another news story here that Baku was about to talk about.
Yes, so we're about to talk about industry news now. So I'm just waiting for Mr. Derek to switch us over.
Oh, thank you so much, kind sir.
You are welcome. All right, so moving away from game announcements and what have you, let's talk a little bit about industry news, because we're always so excited about what's happening in the game industry, and, you know, and the broader, entertainment industry there. So here's some news roundup for Final Fantasy 16. Just a couple of small pieces. So Yoshi P told 4Gamer that the game is actually 95% complete. So we're getting very close to completion. And then after that, they'll have to do some debugging. So they're on track for a summer 2023 release, so which is good. So they're not delaying. They're on track. They're on schedule, according to Yoshi P. Yoshi P then reiterates to Game Watch that FF16 is not, and I repeat, not connected to FF14 in any way, shape, or form. No matter how much you guys wish for it to happen, they are 2 completely separate worlds with no connection whatsoever, other than that they're Final Fantasy games. So
I'm on board.
Yeah, let's just keep that in mind as you move forward. then director Hiroki Takai told Italian gaming site Every Eye that the main story of FF16 will take, get this, 30 to 40 hours to complete. 100% completion will take about 70 hours.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, 30 to 40 hours, and that
For
and
the
that's
main story, I mean,
for
yeah.
the main story, and that's something that I kind of want to talk about, because I'm starting to wonder if, because I haven't really looked into this, I haven't thought about it a lot, but I'm starting to wonder if this is going to be like the new normal moving forward,
It
right?
should.
For some of these,
Yeah.
because look at Final Fantasy VII remake, right? Like
Yeah.
they had to basically break the thing up into multiple sections, which a lot of people don't like, but if you consider the time and cost just to make that first piece, and similar thing happened in FF15, where like they tried to make this grand world, and by the time, and they had this grand vision, right? 100+ hours, grand open world.
Yeah.
And the development took so long that by the time they got around to it, it's already mid PS4. They started with PS3.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like, so it doesn't make sense anymore for them to do it. And they've already tried to do it. It's not like they haven't tried. They did, and they failed. And then they had to have someone come in to fix the whole thing with FF15 just to release it in the state that it was, which if you ask most people, it's incomplete at best. So with FF16, they have like a dilemma. Like, do we scale down the game, scale down the graphics, and tell the same story, but a longer game? Or do we give it that, like, next gen treatment, keep the development time in check, but give you like a relatively shorter experience? Like, what's the answer?
I think that they're striking a balance, because here's the other thing. When you think about like what are some things that keep people from buying new epic RPGs, the first thing the general audience is going to say is, "Oh, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for like 100-hour RPG." That's what they're going to say, because it's oftentimes it's true. There's I think a very good reason why one of my most successful videos and resonated with so many people was talking about like just how to get through RPGs, and how to manage your time, how to manage your approach, how do you break it up into bite-sized pieces that are manageable. And if people have to go, if somebody hears that it's going to take 100 hours to finish a game, if they hear that, they're going to say, no, that's people like you and me. We're like, oh yeah, 100 hours. Sure. That sounds reasonable. I mean, we could manage that, because that's, it is already our hobby. But trying to bring in other people from the outside, like we were saying about just a moment ago, you can't just always make things that target your core audience, right? You have to expand beyond your boundaries. Otherwise, you are ever shrinking. It was in regards to Sonic when we were talking about, you need to bring in some outside people to become new fans. That's how you grow. You can't just pander to who you already have. I mean, it's great to do that. In addition, like if you can appeal to newcomers and old hands alike, then that's how you ensure continued success, right? So by making it this way, a little bit shorter, at least as far as like the main story goes, that's probably a trade-off that will benefit Square Enix, especially in addition to every other point you just mentioned about development time and costs. And, because, this even ties into something earlier I was saying about how, like, sometimes the more effort you put into like a YouTube video, the worse it does. Because in order to feel like it does well, you have to get a big response out of it, right? But if you're releasing smaller projects that take less time to develop and less money to develop, they don't have to sell as crazily in order to turn a profit. It's
it's a lower risk investment, because if you're a game developer, if you're a company making any product, right, the R&D, the production time, the costs associated, those are all investment. And the lower you can get it to be, the better, the better
better the
it is
return.
as for the better the ratio is, right?
Yeah.
Because right off the bat, your cost is lower. So and if you can get the same return, then obviously your ratio would be better. And it goes into these other things too, because like, think about it. Like, we're always talking about like, hey, we want to make sure that the developers, like the actual programmers and developers, like people who work on the game, not the company, but like the people who are working for it, we want them to have fair pay. We want them to have benefits. We want them to not have to have
Crunch.
soul crushing deadlines and crunches. Like, we want all these things for them, obviously, right? But we also don't want to pay $80-$90 a game, even though inflation keeps going up and the developers' hourly wages keep going up. So like, how do you balance this number anyway, right? Like, you can't have it all, right? We can't not continue to pay AAA rate, but expect the developers, and I mean the people who work on the game, to get fair treatment and fair pay. And not crunch and not hurt themselves over making a thing, but also have a really long, sizable game that are of high production value, which costs money.
Yeah, something's got to give.
Yeah, something's got to give. Like, you can't have all these things. We can push for them.
Yeah, you can strive.
But at some point,
it's
got
good to
be
have
realistic.
ideals.
Yeah,
but
so
it does make business sense.
Yeah.
Now,
not to defend large companies. This is not a defense for large company, and large company with executives that take a massive pace and just like messing with their workers. We're not defending those guys.
Sure.
But if you look at
and just to prove that, I think that ties in nicely to this next story.
Right.
In a headline, honestly, I should have just named the episode NFTs nuts. So Embracer, no. Okay, Square Enix. Last week we talked about symbiogenesis, and we were like, oh man, could this be a big new Parasite Eve thing, right? So yeah, turns out, it could just be NFTs.
Oh no, it absolutely is NFT.
Yeah, so it is. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So after all, it was within the possible candidates of Super Nintendo, PS1 era games for remaster and remake. But yeah, it ain't. Yeah, it's just a new NFT project. Square Enix announced Symbiogenesis would be a collectible art project to the chagrin of fans all around. So yeah. You know what? So we were just we try to be fair. If somebody's making a good business practice decision, we'll try to understand it. We'll be like, yeah, I can see where they're coming from. But if they're doing that, if they're doing this, if they're just jerking you around with NFTs nuts, then we'll talk some smack too. So yeah, Square Enix, that's a bad idea. Just saying.
It's a terrible idea.
Have
they not seen, like, you know what? I'm starting to wonder, right? And this happens a lot in like relatively aged, like mature company. I'm just wondering if there are just too many like yes men in the management rank.
Wait,
in Square Enix.
In Japan?
In Japan?
Yes men in Japan?
Nani? Are they hi men because they say hi all the time? Are they not yes men?
I mean, I'm sorry, but I feel like business culture in Japan is basically like being a yes man is how you ascend the ranks. Is it not? Like, you just, because you cannot dissent. There is no such thing as a dissenting opinion in Japanese business. There is the leader, and then there is everybody be underneath them who must follow said leader. Like, it is, there's the queen ant, and then there are the drones.
Yeah. So okay. So they're two like complete opposite spectrum to this, right? One side you have like the Kaizen movement, where like it's from like the Toyota manufacturing yada yada. I will skip all the boring details,
sure.
but basically it is a way for even the lowest line worker to call for a defect and just stop production. Like if they spot something, they can stop it. But that's on like a production thing. So they make very quality goods, right? Japan makes very quality items. You know, we can kind of see why. But this is not like a production thing. This is like a company direction thing, right? And in those cases, I feel like you're absolutely right. It's just dominated by people who are like, "Oh yeah, that's a great idea."
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
fun. The kids
you know,
love NFTs.
yeah, loves NFT. The future is bright with NFTs,
Like,
sir. You're absolutely right.
I mean, so I understand why they want it to be a thing, because sure, if you can mint an NFT for literally nothing and then sell that thing for even like $5, that is $5 of pure profit that didn't have to go through any number of developers. I mean, like you had one artist,
no
maybe.
overhead. Yeah.
Very little overhead. There's no distribution. There's no real like payroll costs involved. Like you are literally printing money and having any sort of like, but again, that assumes that people are going to buy them, and there might be people who will buy some of them.
Yeah. I mean, there were people who played, Babylon Fall. There were people who played it.
Yeah.
Sure.
A sucker is born every minute, but yeah, it's just,
that's not the vast majority of us, though.
I just hope that these first NFT projects, because they've been teasing these NFT projects for a while, and we're finally going to see one. And
well, no. They had
had
something. They did. We talked about it. Do you remember?
No. That's how little of an impact it makes on me.
Well, I mean, it was very underwhelming as a first NFT
wait. Was this the one that was tied to the cloud
yes, the cloud figure that had the NFT.
Gosh.
It was like a $30 surcharge for the NFT, like a proof of ownership of like authenticity.
Okay. So here's the thing.
Something.
We did, I think, at that point concede using NFTs as a certificate of authenticity does make sense, but I don't think that a $30 surcharge necessarily is a good use of that.
Ridiculous. Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. So point is, Square Enix, they make some good decisions sometimes, and other times they make NFTs.
Well, you know what's the positive that came out of the story, though?
What is that?
The positive that came out of the story, and I hope Square Enix actually take note of this, is that people really want Parasite Eve.
Yeah, and
like
that is something that I was mentioning in a comment somewhere. I think was it over on my Twitch channel? Links in the description. I think it might have been, where I was saying, I just hope that Square Enix doesn't start using NFTs as a way to gauge which games need remakes and new entries.
Right.
I really hope. I mean, that is like the dark path of Square Enix. Like if they only start making new entries in game series that sell NFTs, like, God, I just hope that this isn't like their new, like, this is how we're gonna crowdfund the production of Parasite Eve. If you buy all of our NFTs, everybody, that's funds that are gonna fund the new game. I know it's a dark thought, and I really just hope that that's not where it's going. But we'll see. But
on the other hand, now that you mentioned that, I could see that potentially actually being a thing for like crowdfunding
as a way to crowdfund projects. You buy stock in a game, essentially.
Well, no, like, so even right now, if you look at some of these games then being crowdfunded, they have different tiers and whatnot. They could just have like an NFT collectible thing as like a extra like thank you
that could be a thing.
Could be a thing.
Or it could legitimately be one of those things like if a game links to your wallet and sees that that you were a backer at a certain
you would get a backer.
Then you would get the included items, and it's part of that would be kind of interesting. I mean,
I could actually see that. That would be very pro-consumer.
Yeah.
While we're at it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it would have some utility. That's the big thing. NFTs can be good if they have a utility.
Yeah.
That's a huge if, though.
Yeah, that's a huge if. Now, and I do want to address one more thing before we move on regarding NFT, and that is NFT in and of itself is not like necessarily bad for the environment. I know we get that a lot.
Oh yeah, now that we have proof of stake rather than proof of work, yeah.
Oh no, that's just Ethereum.
Okay.
Bitcoin is still no, but the thing that makes NFT so bad for the environment is the currency that you trade the NFT is in these currencies that are bad for the environment, but that doesn't have to be that way. NFT as a technology doesn't have to include that, crypto, currency trading element. Like that's not a necessity. That's just how it actually played out in the NFT implementation so far, but that doesn't have to be the case. So what that means is NFT in and of itself, it could be useful and doesn't have to harm environment any more than, anything else that we do with our computers.
Yeah.
So just want to throw that out there before we start decrying it. Like, it's going to kill the planet. It's like, no, it's actually the thing that trades an NFT, that currency.
Yeah.
Which, again, Ethereum is now moved to proof of stake. So, and a proof of work. Was it proof of stake?
Proof of stake.
Proof of stake, yeah. Instead of proof of work. So that has moved on from basically the graphics card mining like BS that we were in.
Yeah.
Which actually is great news for PC gamer too, because now we don't have to deal with miners taking our graphics cards. Just,
God, but completely off topic. How excited are you about the news that AMD is making like graphics cards that look
extremely excited? I am just so glad that they're doing everything that Nvidia like messed up on. They're like, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, I love that. We don't have a topic about that, but man, I'm pretty stoked to be able to actually get a graphics card someday. So
and actually affordable. Like, was it the
$600
top
less
line? Yeah, the top line. I mean, they don't compete because like the top line from Nvidia is just that much better. It not that much better, but it is better than what we can predict. We don't know, but they gave us some. We haven't seen third-party validation on numbers yet. But if the numbers are correct, you're talking about like maybe 10, 15 frames out of like massive amount, 100 plus, whatever frame. Like at that
like
point,
10% maybe.
Do you even care? Yeah. Like, can your eyes really tell the difference at a certain point? And this is in like massive 4K.
And some people can, but me, no.
No, and we're talking about like 4K max setting. So I'm just like, a lot of people, you might not even do that, right? But it's a couple $100 less.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
what's like $1,300 for, or is it more than that?
For the 4090?
Yeah, for the 4090.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
I haven't
something absurd.
I saw the number and I just lulled and shut it out of my mind because it's like, that's
I think it's 1,500. I think it's 1,500.
15 or 16, I want to say.
Yeah, if I'm wrong, chat can tell me. But the top line AMD card, which is the 7900 XTX, that is like $900.
Yeah, it's like 600 less. It is.
Yeah.
It is laughable how much how much it undercuts Nvidia. It's great.
It's $900
Anyways,
less.
don't take any of this at face value because, like we said, it's not a topic. We're just talking off the top of our heads at this point because it's exciting.
This is just off the cuff. Yeah.
All right. So, do you want to move along to our next topic here?
Yeah. So, speaking of NFTs, because we're not done talking about NFTs. Well, actually, no. This is not. This is somewhat related to NFT, but not really. Okay. So remember how like Square Enix sold a bunch of Western studios and their IPs to the Embracer Group a couple months ago?
I do remember them. Yeah.
On the cheap too. And by on the cheap, I mean like $300 million.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that cheap, but it's cheap.
Listen, when you're talking about buying whole studios and IPs, like around that time, I think Microsoft bought Gearbox for like a 1 point some billion.
Yeah.
$300 million. I know it's crazy, but hear me out. $300 million is nothing when we're talking about like these kind of company acquisition with established IPs that goes with it, and we're talking about like Lara Croft and Hitman.
Yeah,
Those things are not exactly like, the 300 million is very cheap for what Embracer essentially had gotten.
in addition to having paid off some of Square Enix's debts, I believe. So it's not just 300 million, but there's 300 million and some other stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely a low number relative to the acquisitions that were happening around that same time frame.
Sure.
Okay, for comparison. So Square Enix got some money and to work on the NFT project, and Embracer Group got a couple of companies and a couple of IPs, right? Win-win. Okay, we got some updates on that. So Embracer Group had just decided to close down Square Enix Montreal, which was just rebranded as Onoma a month ago.
Oh.
Like we just covered like about a month ago. They're like, oh yeah, Square Enix Montreal is now rebranded as Onoma. I'm like, okay, let's see what they do. A month later, they closed it down.
Oh no, man. Oh, that sucks.
I don't know what Embracer's doing, man. They're like, yeah,
maybe
just bought this thing and rebrand it.
Maybe there was something bad going on at Onoma. Maybe Square Enix sold them off for a reason. Maybe. I mean, hey, if Square Enix didn't want them, and then Embracer bought them, and then they're like, yeah, we actually don't want that either. Like maybe something was going on, you know? Maybe it was another like Activision Blizzard thing, and they're just like, yeah, before this gets out, we're gonna get rid of that, huh?
Yeah, but see, you would think that you would do that before rebranding it.
Maybe you find it out during the rebranding. Like, who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
But
no one knows what happens. And if any one of you guys know, we'd like to know. But no one knows what happened.
I mean, sure, maybe they just got money to burn and lives to ruin. But I mean, because that's essentially what happens if they're upending everybody who happened to work at that studio. But
they're one of the largest holding company in this industry, so they do have money to burn. Absolutely.
I just don't feel like that would be something that a reasonable company who would have the ability to manage so many assets would just be like, yeah, that's just gonna go. That we're just gonna snap that one into the soul stone, right? You know, it's
or they're so big they just don't care.
It could be that. It could be some of that not just caring, but why would you why? I mean, it doesn't make sense. If
I'll let you know when I can casually buy companies for $300 million.
I look forward to that. I look forward to that. So yeah, good to know. Wow.
Yeah, funny.
I mean, I don't want to immediately jump to like, oh yeah, whatever this group must have been, you know, in the wrong. Like, who knows? It could be anything.
I don't want to implicate like they're messing something up, but it is odd that they have just rebranded it.
It makes my mind just spin in wheels, you know.
Yeah, because rebranding a company is not exactly like, you know, just like something you could just do overnight. Like it's a lot of things that get a lot of lawyers need to get involved, a lot of PR people. Like, you have to do some design work.
Surely along the way there was a bean counter who decided that it made more sense. Somebody who was looking at the numbers that says, you know, it would make more sense just to take the IPs and cut our losses on the rest of this studio. Like, I don't know what that looks like or what kind of math goes into that decision, but somebody was paid to make that decision. And you don't get into that kind of position by squandering millions.
Well,
at least not lightly.
Square would have stories to tell you.
Oh, touche. Solid point. All right, so I want to go ahead and move us along a little bit forward into another company. This is kind of interesting. More of an acquisition this time around than it's, I guess last time was also kind of acquisition news. But Kadokawa has just announced that they'll be acquiring Anime News Network.
Yeah.
So both companies are, of course, very positive about this acquisition. Many in the industry, though, worry about how this will impact, you know, journalistic integrity of Anime News Network moving forward, now that it is owned by Big Daddy Kadokawa.
Yeah. So yeah, that Kadokawa,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
That
You
one.
know, the Kadokawa who like bribes Olympic judges. That Kadokawa.
Yeah. Well,
That's-
that one resigned.
That was a different Kadokawa.
So,
Yeah.
well, no, that was the CEO
Same
president.
Kadokawa,
And,
but
yeah, but
he
that
resigned.
company,
Yeah,
but he resigned. But that company, that Kadokawa.
I wonder if they bought him after. I wonder what Anime News Network had to say about that Kadokawa incident.
Oh, we should look that up.
That would be pretty interesting. I wonder, is this? Maybe they're like, oh, maybe we're not gonna talk about that anymore now, Mr. Anime News Network.
Well, so they're saying like, hey, so we're gonna get like, so Anime News Network will be able to utilize assets from Kadokawa in Japan to bring faster, more accurate news from the anime industry, et cetera, while the Anime News Network will allow Kadokawa a better position in North America to sell like their various amount of IPs. Kadokawa owns a lot of IPs, guys. I can't even begin to name all the things they own. So there's that. So okay, some good rationale. It makes sense for the two companies, but again, journalistic integrity in question. Any news that involves Kadokawa from Anime News Network, you will now have to take with a grain of salt. So
Yeah,
just
that's
keep that in mind.
I mean, yeah,
Or
basically,
their competitors.
basically, Anime News Network is to Kadokawa as Nintendo Power was to Nintendo. Like, sure, just read those reviews with a grain of salt, and understand that they might be written with an implication of, hey, maybe we should try to sell more manga, more anime, more everything that we make. You know, at the parent company.
Washington Post to Amazon. Just remember that Bezos owns Washington Post.
Does he?
Yeah. He
Oh.
does. He owns Washington Post.
Interesting.
Yeah. So there you go. I mean, it's just like things like that. We do question. We do question this, but we'll see. We'll see how they do moving forward. But just keep an eye on it. Maybe they're still allowed to just write whatever they want. But
Yeah.
maybe not.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if they continue to make updates about the Kadokawa resignation and so on. Well, I don't know how many more updates there could possibly be, but let's keep our eyes peeled and let's see if if there are new developments. Let's see if Kadokawa has any or if Anime News Network has any sort of updates on it. Yeah, that'd be an interesting kind of canary in the coal mine.
Yeah. All right. So here is something more lighthearted than all those acquisitions and NFTs that we're just talking about. So I didn't know this, but Square Enix has been releasing a series of official Star Ocean The Defiant Force mini-manga. So they're like little cute, like they're not quite like full coma, but like they're in the style of where like each strip just has like a theme and some jokes that goes along with it. So it's really cute. Mini manga in English over on Twitter.
Oh.
Now, our good friends over at Noisy Pixel have compiled 9 of such mini mangas into a single page. So you don't have to search too hard if you're interested in reading some of these. I actually haven't read it yet because I found them today. Now I'm like, oh, let's just add them into it because, So I might actually read them after I play the game. I don't know because they do talk about like the characters, and I think it would be more impactful if you like got to know the characters in the game and then see like the funny strips. So link will be in the description down below once we have those descriptions ready.
Yeah. Rad.
All right. So that concludes our industry news. I do have one little, tiny little merch drop news for all of you to conclude our evening before we move on to Super Chat.
Okay.
So, if you guys are looking for ugly Christmas sweaters, this for the office Christmas party, say, well, the Pokemon company has got you covered. So you want to move over to my screen for a second there?
Yeah,
Mr.
I love
Derek?
wearing ugly clothing.
I can't make these pictures larger. I don't know. They're not working.
I see that. Yeah.
I was trying to make them larger, but anyways, yeah. So, Square, the Pokemon company had made a couple of what they call ugly Christmas sweater. Which, by the way, these are probably like the cutest ugly Christmas sweater I've seen.
Sure.
So we've got Pikachu, we've got Eevee, we've got Snorlax, and I
that a Gengar?
honestly, that is a Gengar. But
Can you-
actually, so these are not the. This is not the Christmas ugly sweater. These are the Halloween ugly sweaters.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, but hey, if you want a Gengar sweater, I mean, you should still get it. Yeah, don't let it stop you. I mean, get it anyways. I mean, this color actually looks pretty good. Not gonna lie. But anyways, yeah, if you want to wear this as a Christmas sweater, I don't think anyone's gonna tell you it's not.
Yeah. Can you, if you
honestly
click
don't
on one,
think
will
so.
it make the picture bigger?
Yes.
Oh,
If Pokemon,
rip.
yeah, you know what? It's kind of buggy. I don't know why.
jeez.
Yeah, it's kind of buggy.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I tried really hard just to even open this page, but it's because it's in Firefox. It opens perfectly fine in Chrome. That's the other thing I was gonna say. Yeah, so if you're interested in this, if this and this certainly does interest me because I've always been looking for like a good ugly sweater.
Sure.
That I'm like sometimes it's just like way too ugly. I'm like, yeah, I cannot see myself wearing this ever.
Those are
I
like
don't care
tasteful
where I go.
ugly. Tasteful
Yeah, this
amounts
is
of ugly.
tasteful ugly. So I'm like, okay, I can get with this. Yeah, not a big Pokemon fan, but hey, listen, if I'm gonna have to pay for an ugly sweater, this might be it. So we'll leave the link in the description below if that's something you're interested in.
All right.
Yes.
Well, that does bring us to towards the end of all of our merch drops and stuff. So we just really have super chats, and we've got one from
Yes.
Francisco Lira who says,
Hello.
"Important question, Baku." Well, he doesn't say Baku, but it's pointed to both of us. It says, "Who is your RPG waifu?"
Huh.
I know it's a tough question for Baku because his waifu is, as far as I know, Miku.
Yeah, and I
And-
mean she's in game, but I
is
don't
that an
think
RPG or I don't know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
RPG waifu. Ooh, that's
It's tough.
an extremely tough question.
Also, are you trying to pick fights? Are you trying to start fights? I feel like if we pick a side at this point, we'll just anger one crazy mob or the other, right?
Unless you talk about trails. As long as you don't talk about trails, I think peace can remain in the kingdom. But as soon as you bring trail waifus in, all hell breaks loose.
Funny thing, I was drawing a blank until you mentioned trails, and I'm like, oh, actually,
Oh, actually,
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll limit in order to make a decision. I'll limit my pool to just trails because I'm most recently acquainted with trails, and it had a pretty good selection of waifu. So I think that for trails, I'm leaning toward Noelle Seeker. Yeah.
huh? You're a Noelle fan.
Yeah, she's cool. She's nice.
Interesting.
But yeah, I mean, Risha is nice and all, and so is Ellie. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Noelle. I think that's my waifu of trails so far.
I think if I have to pick one, it would be oh my god, I forgot her name from
What game?
Ida Somnium File.
I
think
couldn't
that
tell
is-
you.
Yeah, Ida Somnium Files. It's like she's literally a mom. So
Oh, I know who you're talking about already.
yes, there's like a mom character.
Sure.
In Ida Somnium Files.
Of course,
and
it's the Ara Ara character.
I was super, hands down. Just I just can't remember her name off the top of my head.
Just do a Google search for I Somnium Files Ara Ara.
He told me it's her name. So you go. Yeah. There's the
He told me,
there's-
okay.
Yeah, he told me. Yeah. So there is a character named Iris in the game, and her mother is a character named Hitomi. Hitomi is definitely just like straight up game waifu. But if it has to be an RPG, because Adesanya is not an RPG, if it has to be an RPG, I would say Psycho from Like a Dragon.
Oh, okay.
She's so bad, like in the game, like bad as in good.
Okay.
Like she can step on me any day. Is this wait, hold on, no, wait, sorry,
Hang on.
Remove the children.
So, guys, I do believe that does wrap things up for us for the day. So thank you all so much for joining us today. It's been a little bit of a shorter show, but that is, kind of what's going on at this time of year, unfortunately, as everybody kind of winds down after Tokyo Game Show and all that other stuff. But we will let you know as other things continue to happen. So if you like today's episode, be sure to like the video or the podcast on whatever platform you're currently enjoying it on. And we will see you guys all in the next episode. But Baku, before we close out, any final thoughts?
I'm seeing chat right now. Everyone is like, Aya can dive into me anytime. Aya can step on me. It's just, wow, there's a lot of Aya fans. Just want to acknowledge all of you degens in there. Good job.
See you guys. Ba-da-da.